Welcome to Lensbusters. Funny thing happened to me while I was at the county fair today. I was thinking about a process, or a technique rather, that makes a lot of sense for photographing the scene I saw. I didn't use this technique. I'm still going to share the photos here just because what I saw was the most adorable thing you've ever seen, which was a pig race. There were all these cute little pigs running on a little track and hopping over obstacles and stuff. And the thought I had was explaining what focus trapping is for those who don't know it. It's still a useful technique today, but it was particularly useful for action photography and sports and events and that sort of thing back in the days before autofocus. And though autofocus has drastically improved over the years, focus trapping would make a lot of sense for certain types of photography. So say, for example, you're photographing you've got like a really, really long lens. Say you've got a 500 millimeter f4.5 lens. I have one of these. And you're photographing a car race and you want to get the photos of the cars just as they go over a tiny hill. Well, it could end up being a really disappointing situation if you use your autofocus and it just, for whatever reason, can't hit the focus. But with focus trapping, the general premise here is you find a spot where the thing is gonna be in focus. So like you pick that spot on the hill, and if it's not an object you can just place there and have, preset, you can have somebody stand in or park the car in there or whatever to handle this as a sort of a test before the real event takes place. You can also just pick, you could pick maybe a signpost or some other object in the spot where you're going to photograph the object as it appears in the frame. So imagine that there was a extreme curve sign or something like that right at the top of the hill. You'd focus on that sign. You'd have the scene set up so you'd capture the area you intended. So, in a racetrack, it might be just the entire roadway. You'd focus there, get all your settings correct, put the camera on, auto wind or whatever the digital equivalent there is, and just wait for the car to show up in that spot and just hit the button and fire away. And that's a pretty reliable way of getting in focus photos. And you can do that even with the most primitive cameras. So you could do this with a large format view camera. Not to say that would be really suited for this sort of work. But if there was sort of a reason why you'd want to get a large format photo of something like that, or even if you're just shooting film 35 millimeter or something along those lines, very few 35 millimeter cameras have super great autofocus anyway. This might be a technique worth considering. So there's a concept for you. Thanks for listening. Over and out.
Copyright Michael Halberstadt, 2025.